November 29th, 1981. Off Catalina Island, in the cold Pacific, a woman is calling for help. Her voice carries across the water. "Somebody, please help me. I'm drowning." She was 43, a child star who became an Oscar-nominated actress, a wife, a mother of two, Natalie Wood. For decades, the official story was simple: accidental drowning. But the testimonies of those who were there and those who heard her final moments have never aligned. What really happened that night on the yacht Splendor? This is the story of the testimonies and the hard questions they still refuse to answer.
Natalie Wood had been terrified of dark water since childhood. During the filming of The Green Promise in 1948, she nearly drowned. The trauma stayed with her. Yet, on Thanksgiving weekend 1981, she boarded the 60-foot yacht Splendor with her husband Robert Wagner, Brainstorm co-star Christopher Walken, and Captain Dennis Davern. They dined at Doug's Harbor Reef restaurant on Catalina. Heavy drinking was reported. Natalie's blood alcohol level later measured 0.14%. Around 10:45 p.m., Wagner told investigators Natalie had gone to bed. What happened next would be described differently by every person on that boat.
Marilyn Wayne and her boyfriend John Payne were sleeping on their nearby yacht, the Capricorn. Around 11 p.m., they were awakened by a woman's desperate voice. "Help me. Somebody please help me. I'm drowning." The cries lasted up to 15 minutes. Wayne and Payne both heard a man's slurred reply, "Hold on, we're coming to get you." They assumed it was a prank. They did not call for help. Why did two independent witnesses on a nearby boat hear Natalie's voice and a man's response, yet no immediate alarm was raised from the Splendor? The inflatable dinghy, the Valiant, was missing from the Splendor's davits. At 7:30 a.m., Natalie Wood's body was found floating face down nearly a mile from the yacht. She wore a nightgown, red down jacket, and socks, no shoes. The dinghy had washed ashore nearby, engine off, oars locked, side scratched by fingernails. Island resident Doug Bombard helped locate the body. Rescue boat captain Roger Smith, who led the recovery, later testified she appeared to have survived in the water for some time. He believed she could have been saved if rescuers had been called sooner. The initial coroner ruled accidental drowning. Bruises on her arms and legs were dismissed as injuries from struggling in the water. Original detective Dwayne Rasher interviewed Wagner and Walken the next day. He later told 48 Hours in 2011, "I didn't doubt anything Robert Wagner told me. No mention of an argument, no deep questioning of the timeline. Marilyn Wayne and Roger Smith were never formally interviewed." Why did the original investigation accept the accounts of the two famous men on board so readily, while sidelining ear witnesses and the rescue captain who believed Natalie lived for hours? The case was closed within days. Captain Dennis Davern signed a statement supporting Wagner in 1981. Decades later, he admitted he had lied. In his book and interviews, he described a violent argument between Wagner and Wood, jealousy over Walken. He claimed Wagner smashed a wine bottle, that Natalie fled to the dinghy to escape, and that Wagner prevented an immediate search, reportedly saying, "Leave her alone." Davern passed a polygraph. Why did Davern lie to police for nearly 30 years, only to reverse course after Natalie's sister, Lana Wood, encouraged him? Was it guilt, a bid for attention, or the truth finally emerging?
Christopher Walken has always maintained it was an accident. He told investigators he went to bed and knew nothing until the alarm. His accounts have shown slight variations over the years, but he has never implicated Wagner. Robert Wagner's story. Natalie went to secure the banging dinghy. He waited, believing she would return. He has consistently denied any argument or foul play. If everything was innocent, why did Wagner's timeline shift in small but noticeable ways? And why, when the case reopened, did he decline further cooperation? In 2011, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the case. The coroner changed the cause to drowning and other undetermined factors. Bruises were now noted as possibly occurring before she entered the water. In 2018, Lieutenant John Carina and Detective Ralph Hernandez revealed two new independent witnesses. They claimed to have seen and heard a man and woman arguing on the Splendor's swim step, supporting Davern's account. Then she was gone. The witnesses' identities have never been made public. Carina stated publicly, Robert Wagner was more of a person of interest now. He was the last person with Natalie before she disappeared. Who were these two new witnesses, and why did they wait nearly 4 decades to come forward? If their accounts are credible, how do they square with Walken's and Wagner's versions? Lana Wood, Natalie's sister, has never accepted the accident ruling. She has testified to investigators about her sister's lifelong terror of dark water and her belief, based on years of conversations with Davern, that Wagner was responsible. The two daughters grew up without their mother. Natasha was 11, Courtney was 7. They have lived under the shadow of this unresolved night. The testimonies do not align. Why was there a 2.5-hour delay between the screams heard by Wayne and Payne and the first call for help? If Natalie was terrified of water, why would she climb into an inflatable dinghy at night in only a nightgown? Why were the dinghy's engine key off and oars locked if she was simply securing it? Roger Smith's testimony suggests she may have lived for hours. What does that say about the search that never happened? The 2018 new witnesses saw an argument at the exact swim step Wagner later described, yet Wagner and Walken said there was none. Davern lied once. The original detective accepted everything at face value. Wayne and Payne were sidelined. Was this a tragic accident compounded by intoxication and poor decisions, or did power, fame, and a rushed initial investigation allow uncomfortable truths to stay buried? Allegations of a Hollywood cover-up have circulated for decades. No evidence has ever proven a conspiracy, but the inconsistencies remain.
In 2022, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department announced all leads exhausted. Robert Wagner was officially cleared of involvement. The case remains open and unsolved. Yet the damage is done. Wagner, once the elegant star of Heart to Heart, is forever linked to the phrase person of interest. His reputation carries the weight of suspicion that no clearance has fully erased. Natalie Wood's luminous legacy, 3 Oscar nominations, iconic roles, is now inseparable from this night. Her daughters still live with the questions. Hollywood circles whispered about blacklisting. Some secrets die with their keepers. Others refuse to stay buried. The splendor is long gone. The water is still cold. The testimonies, Davern for Versal, Wayne and Payne's cries, the anonymous 2018 witnesses, Roger Smith's belief she could have been saved, still contradict one another. Robert Wagner, now in his mid-90s, has said everything he will say. No charges were ever filed. He was cleared in 2022. Yet the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has never closed the file. The coroner's classification remains undetermined. The truth may never be fully known, but the questions raised by every testimony refuse to disappear. What really happened that night? What she endured in her final hours still haunts those who loved her.